It's March 25th, 2019. Welcome back to Destination Pro Wrestling. My name is Tony. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Tango with Tango. Lots of exciting things happening in the pro wrestling world. A lot of people talking about WWE, a lot of people talking about New Japan and the G1. And obviously here on the channel, we've been talking a lot about AEW, and it's been for a variety of reasons. A lot of people want to know what's going on with this new promotion. The good news is Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks revealed a lot of information in regards to what's going on with AEW. And one of the cool things that they had mentioned is their plans to go and compete in China as part of that talent exchange deal with OWE. But what was really cool at C2E2, we started to get a little bit of insight as to what's going to be happening with AEW. And one of the things I really took away from this whole interview and the panel and everything was Kenny Omega has a lot of confidence within the AEW TV deal. And at one point, he even says there are things that have already been put in motion with the TV deal that just simply can't be stopped. That doesn't mean that they can't be expanded upon. That doesn't mean they are limited to that. I'm still looking at some crazy things to benefit the company and just to keep things interesting and lively. We will still welcome any cool ideas and feedbacks from the fan base because really it's for you guys in the end. And one of the things I really love about this statement specifically is not only is he showing his confidence in the TV deal, but he's making it very clear that this product is going to be influenced by fans, and they are listening to feedback, and the fans are the most important part. Now, the reason why I like this is because if you guys watched recently on WWE television, then we all know some of the things that the Authority had said about the WWE universe, basically running the show, and as you guys know, WWE doesn't do a very good job of listening to fans all the time. So, of course, this sparked a huge conversation, and a lot of people on social media, and specifically in my comment section, people have been talking about AEW and whether or not they're going to be another company that says, hey, this is, all for the fans, blah, 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 and then whether or not they actually follow through with that. One of the good things about AEW is they've been doing a lot of interaction on social media. So then, of course, the whole conversation of contracts got brought up, and Matt Jackson and Kenny Omega actually tackled this conversation about contracts. Now, they are encouraging their rising stars to continue working scheduled bookings. So it's believed that this will actually change once AEW is full-time, which I thought was very interesting because, right now, obviously, TV tapings isn't something that they're doing. Obviously, they're launching a couple shows. We know that they're going to be doing CEO Gaming sometime, I believe, in July. So they're going to be doing that live event as well. But it looks like they have 4 or 5 shows prior to TV, and that seems to be what we've been talking about recently on the channel. So it's really interesting that could very well change. Obviously, a full-time schedule with AEW will prevent these superstars or wrestlers, whatever you want to refer them to. Right now, AEW is referring their wrestlers as wrestlers, so I guess that's a good thing. But it's very interesting that this could very well change. Now, the reason why this is so interesting is because a lot of people in the comment section have been talking about whether or not AEW is going to have more freedom than WWE. And this statement kind of says, in a certain way, in a very particular way, they're basically saying, yeah, in some capacity, they're going to have freedom, but once we go full time, things could very well change. And with these things changing, it's very interesting. And then obviously throughout this time on the panel, they confirmed that, pretty much it is not a rumor. They will be competing in China, which is incredible because obviously for the fans out there, they're going to see some of their favorite OWE stars on AEW, and they're going to see some of their favorite AEW stars in China as well. But they kind of talk about touring, and this is where I really feel like AEW is very, very, very interesting. They basically talk about the contracts and the kind of freedom that people will have. They don't want people getting ring rust. They're going to encourage them to keep doing their bookings, keep doing their thing, and then have them ready for television. And then they're talking about having a pretty full-time schedule. And basically, as of right now, they have a lot of people who are working with not too much experience under their belt, so they want them to do a lot more. Now, obviously, with AEW, this seems like it's a really good move for them because not only, they don't have a performance center like WWE to start training some of these guys, and some of the best talent in AEW right now if you didn't know, a lot of these guys really don't have television experience. And with this TV deal, they said it best. This is a TV deal that can't be stopped. This is a TV deal that's huge. They're overhyping. They could potentially be overhyping their TV deal. And there's been so many rumors about Sci-Fi and TBS, TNT. We talked about this originally on the channel. I'll put the link in the description. But we talked about them being with Turner Sports, and that's kind of been the thing that maybe we'll start to see. But it's really interesting to see that they're talking about who, the route that they're going to go, and with who, with who they have on their roster, how they're going to get them ready for TV. And that's a very big concern, because how you get on TV and how you perform on TV is very different than how you perform in a live crowd. So they have a really good roster so far. It is a little bit smaller of a roster, and they're building that, obviously. But they're going to start getting people going and obviously building experience. And I think that's a wonderful thing, because they don't have those resources like WWE has. So I do respect that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it sounds like AEW is going to have a lot more control over their roster than we actually thought. And I think that is something that AEW should get a lot of credit for, because one thing that is rumored is a lot of indie stars going to AEW, and a lot of people that don't have TV experience are going to go there. You could be a good wrestler, but when it comes to putting on a television product, there's a lot more that goes into it. So I'm glad that they're taking a very serious route with that. But one of the things that was also very interesting, and I thought this was incredible, the conversation of commentators and ring announcers and stuff had gotten brought up, and basically they kind of talk about this as far as who's going to be coming into the company. They pretty much know who's going to be there. They pretty much know who's going to be their ring announcers and their commentators. And it's so funny, because they gave a lot of love and shout out to like Don Callis, for example, which I don't know if that's possible. Don Callis is obviously a very busy guy with what he does with New Japan, and then obviously, not WWE, but Impact Wrestling. Obviously, he plays a big role there. But a guy like Don Callis being involved in AEW would be tremendous. So it's nice to see that they have a lot of stuff planned. Obviously, they're revealing a little bit here and there. But this shows that AEW is really serious about their craft. And, obviously, when it comes to AEW's next several months, a lot of it is going to be preparing people not only for their television debut. For some of these people, they've never been on television and they've never been on a big network. But another thing too is really preparing this and making it a bigger deal than it is. And some people see this as overhyping. I don't think so, and I just want to tell you guys, wow, that was funny. But I want to tell you guys, one of the things I thought really interesting about this whole thing on the panel is it seems like Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are not shying away from some of the things being discussed, so them taking this feedback and really working with this feedback, I hope they do some big things with this, and I hope they really do listen to the fans. I'm not saying fans are smart enough to dictate their product, but at the end of the day, they are, working with a niche that is a lot smaller than WWE, and they're not trying to be sports entertainers. So I like that. I think that's incredibly important. For me, this is one of the things I want to see AEW do. Like, I want to see them talk about a TV deal. I want them to talk about, some of the struggles they may have. I want to see them talk about the things that are working well. It's nice to see that they're going to be encouraging their talent working full time. I love that. But at the same time, too, I don't want them to put themselves in a position where it seems like they're going to do everything to favorite the fans, because as much as fans can dictate a show's success, they are not creative. They've never done this kind of stuff. And I feel like, that's where AEW needs to be different. Obviously, listening to your fans is the most important thing. But at the same time, too, you have to make smart business decisions. So ultimately, I'm really excited for Double or Nothing. I really don't know what they're going to do as far as commentary goes. There's been rumors of Jim Ross and Excalibur. I read a rumor before that Matt Stryker could potentially get involved. There's a lot, obviously. So I want to know what you guys think. Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, all executive vice presidents of the company. And they've not really hid any information. Obviously, like, they are hyping up their TV deal. They are hyping up a lot about their product, but I think it's all good hype. And if they underdeliver, the fans will make it known. But that's the beauty of pro wrestling. The fans' feedback is what changes. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Is this a big deal, with them overhyping things? Is this a big concern that we should have, that they eventually will go to a much larger schedule, preventing their stars from working other places? We never really thought about that prior to this. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. My name is Anthony or Tony from Destination Pro Wrestling, and I'll see you guys next time.